Listen,
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
we talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There's no human being I'd rather be talking to right now than Tyler O'Neill. I say it every time, and I mean it every time. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for being here. Yeah. It was probably, I don't know when it was, whenever you were traded. I mean, you were traded to the Red Sox last year in November. So, right? I mean.
I think it was the first week of December.
First week of December. All right. So there's a lot we want to get to. Number one, I want to know is the prerequisite, because this is everyone's talking about this. Did you get a guarantee from the Orioles that they had 150-pound dumbbells?
No, but it was definitely something that I would consider asking.
All right.
That's funny though. I'll have to check in on that. There's definitely going to be a complaint going on my end if things don't look up to standard. So
if they did their research,
it's going to be great.
Yeah, if they did their research, they would know that this was something. As much as you enjoyed your time with the Red Sox, this was a problem because they only went up to 125 in Fort Myers. Did they actually in Boston? Did they have 150 or no?
No, it was up to 120. So I would just end up maxing out the gym, which is fair. But yeah, we need at least 120s on the board there. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, I appreciate you signing. I appreciate everything. And so let's just go back a little bit. Tyler, you don't have to respond to this. You can if you want. It would be helpful if you did, since it's a podcast. It's not just me talking. But I've said to people, I said, there are certain players where I just felt like fit teams, that fit parks, that fit environments. And I had been around long enough to sort of, I think, to identify those, right or wrong. And I always said, I thought you fit really good. And that doesn't mean that you had to sign with the Red Sox, I think you're going to fit great with the Orioles. But I mean this as a compliment, that there was so much that fit in terms of the team, the city, and everything else. I don't know if you felt that way, but that's how I felt.
Yeah, it sure did. If anyone ever asked me about Boston, the first thing I say is how grateful I was for that opportunity to play in that ballpark and within that clubhouse culture. The gig that AC runs over there is awesome. The guys are loose and there's really good chemistry in that locker room. Playing at Fenway Park is special. You don't see a green monster anywhere else in the league or in the world. So being able to take advantage of that for a full season was a lot of fun. It was awesome. It was a great time overall. Unfortunately things didn't work out that way, but I'm really happy I landed on my feet, and Baltimore really wanted me and prioritized me. So I'm really happy with everything and how that went down.
As you're going through last year, do you feel like, because we had talked in spring training, you had a different regimen, you felt good about your regimen, you felt good about where you were, you felt good about how that was going to result. And let's be honest, you had a couple bumps in the road, but it wasn't because of injuries that you had before, right? It was weird infections and stuff like that. But as you went through last year, you must have felt good in the sense of, all right, I have a plan for my career and it worked. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. I've had to make a lot of changes the last couple of years. I think I implemented a lot of good stuff last year. And it really paid off for me. Just being able to see the translation of the work pay off into game speed. I noticed my batted ball data was back to the exit velo that I like it to be. Hard hit rate was up. I'm hitting the ball consistently over 110 miles an hour, which is exactly where I want to be. And that's my presence in the box and within a lineup. So it gave me a lot of confidence in the training program that I'm on. Obviously last year was the first year that I implemented it, working with new guys and just really making sure it's a balanced program. I'm just understanding making sure I'm warming my body up the right way, and I'm getting ready for those heavy lifts, and just taking care of my management program has been key. And I'm on a really good track this year as well. So I'm excited to do it again.
And by the way, you did recognize the significance of the moment of this podcast by getting a pump before you came on. You said you literally, right? This is I like to do that every time that I do a podcast, right?
So I will never show up to talk to you unprepared, Rob. So I absolutely got after it this morning. It was a back day for me, so we loaded up the pulls.
Ooh.
And I'm just starting my swinging program. So that's been feeling good. And it's just light T work right now, but just to be rotating and moving dynamically, body's feeling good. And that's all I can ask for.
I mean, typically when I do a podcast, and you'll understand this the more podcast, you do trap days, right? Always do trap days, right? You want to pop the traps. Like a football player in a yearbook photo.
The neck shows up on the camera, on the webcam. The neck definitely shows up.
Yeah. It's my traps have never looked better. It reminded me also, you guys had a thing going where, what was it, chest day? Like you hit a home run every time you did chest day for a while.
We were on a streak for a little bit. Yeah, it was. I like chest day. Obviously, it's just good representation of overall upper body strength. So I really try to get after that one. And yeah, it got hot, man. It got hot. We started. I hit that one on opening day again, and then I hit another opening day homer, and then at home. So it just kind of went rolling, and then we carried it out a couple next chest days, and then it got cooled off pretty quick after that. But that's what it's all about, right? Riding the hot times. And, it was back day for a bit and then lower body day. So ebbs and flows, baby. And that's what it's all about.
Well, I don't know if you knew this. Cooper Criswell started doing chest day every time he pitched.
That's awesome. I mean, Velo's going to go up probably.
Velo's going to be good. There it is. You reminded me, and this is bad job on me. Who you've looked this up? Who the Orioles open up with?
We opened in Toronto.
Oh, I mean, if there was ever a perfect storm to keep this streak going, how many years in a row is it?
It's been 5 years in a row and counting.
5 years in a row that Tyler O'Neill has hit a home run on opening day, which is maybe the most incredible stat, other than Cal Ripken, other than Johnny Gomes having the most hits off the Tropicana Field catwalk. That's an incredible, and to do it in your home country. I mean, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the record's already mine, right? So to be able to do it in the Northwest where I'm from last year in Seattle was really special. Had a lot of, had a lot of friends and family in town for that one. And honored to do it in a Boston uniform too, to be able to represent that organization. It was an honor. But yeah, no, we're 5 and counting. I got another kick at the can this year in Toronto with my new team. And yeah, no, I'm not trying to walk.
Hold on. Let me write that down. If I get you a t-shirt, will you wear that on opening day? I'm not trying to walk.
That's funny. Yeah, if you send it to me in that font that you got going on there, I'm in.
Oh yeah, baseball isn't boring.
I'm gonna cut off the sleeves. So
well, I mean that's again, it's a prerequisite. I never saw you in a baseball isn't boring t-shirt. I know that you wore it, just not in public.
Yeah, I wore it sometimes.
Yeah, it's solid. It's solid.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So when you sign with the Orioles, we'll get to that in a second. But do you immediately look at where they open up? I mean, what is the thing you look up when you sign with the Orioles, other than like the contract terms?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously the contract is the head player in all that stuff. Excuse me. I'm going to be going to a winning organization. They won 91 ball games last year, so I'm really looking forward to being able to pull my weight in that regard and help those guys hopefully win more than 91 ball games, and have a chance at winning the division, and just having a chance to go into the playoffs. That's what it's all about for me. So, I was really happy with how everything went down with them. Baltimore showed early interest, and made it known that I was the priority for them. And that's a really good feeling for a first-time free agent like me. Obviously I played Baltimore last year in the division. Tough ball club, really good pitching, really good bullpen. They can hit. So, for them to kind of stick their foot forward and say that they want me to be part of that key lineup, it was a really good feeling. So I'm really happy we were able to get all the numbers worked out. I'm able to sign a 3-year contract, which is awesome. And I'm really looking forward to this year and meeting those new teammates and fitting into the program over there.
We talked a lot about your free agency. I was your hype man because I believed in it. I believed it, but still, it's like it's an uneasy time. And then, as I think that every free agent, especially nowadays, it goes into the market, you sort of have to brace yourself for worst case scenario, right? It's great the Orioles came out of the gate, but when you're a free agent, I don't know when Scott sits down with you, said, "Okay, this is what we expect." Was it what you expected when the time came that you became a free agent?
Yeah, I think we had a window of the kind of dollar figure we were looking at. And obviously we wanted to figure out what we could do with the years. Baltimore also offered me contract flexibility. They gave me an opt-out, which is very appealing to me. But I'm focused on living out this contract and playing out the contract in Baltimore and seeing what kind of damage we can do in the postseason baseball. But, again, I'm just really happy with how everything went down with them. The communication was wide open. They prioritized me, and it's exactly what I was looking for.
Did you get the call right away? Like, was it one of those, like you said, sometimes teams do that? It's like, boom, out of the gate, free agency starting.
So, probably about mid-November, they put out news that they were going to be moving the left field wall in. And to be honest, I don't know if I would consider signing in Baltimore with that left field, how it was the last couple of years, just for my player profile and how I hit the ball, swallow me up a little bit. And that's not good for production or the team or anything. But, Mike was talking to Scott in those initial conversations, and obviously it was something that we talked about, and it was very appealing for me to be able to see that they were going to make a proper modification to the wall to make it just fair, right? Because nobody wants to play in an extreme pitcher's park. Nobody wants to hit in an extreme pitcher's park, which is pretty much what it turned into, specifically for right-handed hitting. Left-handers had a chance, but a lot less room to work with on the other side of the plate. So that was a big factor for me.
I was actually going to ask you about that because I would imagine, that when you're playing there last year, when you make the trip to Camden Yards, like, I'm not playing here. Like, it's a good. I'm not playing. Like, it's nothing against. This is a business. It's a business, right? I would.
No doubt.
Yeah. So I would imagine, and I don't know the last time you went there, but of the teams that because that's part of it, right? You're thinking about, well, where could I play? I would imagine the Orioles probably wasn't at the top of the list, not because they're a bad organization, but because of that, right?
100%. Yeah. The ballpark plays a big factor, and it's one of the drawbacks that I keep, leaning back on Boston because I love playing at Fenway Park, being able to use that wall. Thankfully we go there twice this year, and, I can have some fun with it during those two instances. But it honestly wasn't much of a consideration of mine to be a productive right-handed power hitter. The park wouldn't have been good for me. But with the new modifications, it makes a lot more sense.
Oh, it's great. It's great. You imagine what it would have been like.
For sure.
It would have been like before. I mean, it was. Oh.
Cool. So that's going to be something I'm going to, hopefully talk to those guys about is, hey, maybe we want to bring that wall in even a little further. Let's see the kind of damage that we can really do.
I mean, it comes back to, holy mackerel. Like, what a swing at Fenway. It was just, and to be perfectly honest with you, the wall could have been 500 feet away a lot of times, and it wouldn't have made it. But there's something about that. There's something about feeling that you're stepping up there and say, hey, you know what? I don't have to jack this to come out of my skin to hit a home run. I can just take a normal swing and it's probably going to go out.
Yeah, there's definitely a few balls that I hit, that might have been flyouts on the track in other parks, but the Green Monster took it, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Honestly, I have nothing but good to say about Boston and my experience over there. Wish it would have worked out in that regard too, but there just wasn't that push from that side, to get me. Obviously Boston was caught up in the Soto sweepstakes, rightfully so. they should be in their big market. They should be spending that. They should be in the ballpark of spending that kind of money on those types of guys that are generational players, and I think they should be in that conversation. But when I'm getting prioritized interest on the other side with a really good opportunity, there's nothing for me to wait around on.
Well, I was going to ask you that. I mean, in a nutshell, we can understand, like, okay, this is the Red Sox approach, but were you surprised about the vibe that they gave off in that respect? Because I can sit there and say, hey, listen, this is just me, but I'm like, hey, you need a right-handed bat. We all know you need they still need a right-handed bat. And you had one that proved they could play in that park. Sure, if you want to see where Teoscar Hernandez lands, fine, whatever. But were you surprised about the vibes or lack of vibes that you got from the Red Sox?
I was surprised at the lack of interest. Yeah.
Okay.
There was a little bit of interest early on at the GM meetings in November. Obviously, every organization is going to be talking to Scott with the player personnel that he had coming into the market this year, and obviously Brez and company made it known that they were interested in me. But where I fell in the pecking order, I have no idea. I don't know if I was second or fourth or fifth or whatever they looked like, right? So it never got to numbers. It never got to anything serious. It is what it is.
I mean, you're right. I mean, that's a bummer. I mean, it's a bummer. I'm talking selfishly because we liked having you around. But the good news is that, like you said, you've landed at a good team, which is going to win, which has a good park that moved this fence in. I'm going to say it's just for you. I'm going to say they did it. That was I mean, we can't rule that out, Tyler. Honestly, the timing lines up. This announcement of the wall and Camden Yards and signing you.
Well, I think the Baltimore organization realized that they were going to lose that side of the plate with where their park was at. Because guys like me wouldn't want to sign there. But like just to have it at a more reasonable length, it's still like relatively deep out there. But now you have to hit the ball 375 feet instead of 400 feet for it to be damage or a home run. And that's much more reasonable to expect. So, I think I think the new ownership that Baltimore has is going to be really good for that organization as well. Obviously signing me was, a good step in the direction for them. And hopefully they continue to pursue other free agents and potential trade candidates to bolster the roster. And we keep going. But, they have a really good core going on right now too. Just the youth, the young core, all left-handed guys that they got. Obviously you got Adley, switch hitter, a couple other righties in the lineup there, Mountcastle and them. But just a strong group, just a strong athletic group. And I think I'm going to fit in really well there.
Was there, besides the wall thing, was there something, because this is a great thing about free agency. It's not necessarily always about putting your name up on the Jumbotron and walking into the arena, although we all like that, right? We all like the Soto story about the freaking like 50 million things they did for him. But still, like every free agent, there is a recruitment. There is something that maybe Mike Elias says or someone. Was there something besides the wall that really said, oh, you know what? That hit for me. That hit for me from the Orioles.
Yeah, they wanted me. And they made it known that they wanted me early. And that was good. I was like, yeah, how can I fit into that lineup? What do I see myself look like in orange, for example? Just kind of starting to visualize myself within that realm. It was like energizing, rejuvenating, energizing, and exciting. And started thinking about it more and more. Off of that initial conversation of interest, they started discussing numbers with Scott. And we hit a block for a bit. But then we started talking again, and it all happened within a day. It happened really quick, and it happened within a day. So, just really happy to where we got with it, and looking forward to it.
Awesome. So I want to go back to, you reminded me of the home run, opening day home run, that Netflix was there. I'm probably going to ask this to for you, like, what is, when Netflix thing comes out, what is the, give me the thing because you go through it, you're like, that's going to be on Netflix. Give me the moment, the Netflix moment that you think they caught that and it's going to be something.
Opening day last year was pretty toned down for me for what I was expecting. I think you were actually the only one that mentioned
I predicted it.
Homer streak.
I guarantee, yes.
It was hilarious. It was like 2 hours before the game. Like, yeah, I know where I'm at. But no, they had a mic on me. And they were there. They were in the dugout. They got it, man. They got it. And that's really cool, That's a whole other bag of worms, talking about Netflix and just how that whole process was. But, they did a good job, right? They're filmmakers in the middle of the clubhouse and, they're trying to get all the information that they can. They're getting too much information so they can edit out and chop off, what they want to make the story really look like. But they got that one. And I'm looking forward to seeing what that one looks like. And just seeing how they represent us as a whole.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You mentioned the worms. I don't want to talk about all the worms, the bag of worms, but there is that now. There is that element of, for a lot of guys, it's like it seems like a good idea at the time, but now it's like,
I mean, I'm sure they got some cringy stuff too, right? Like, I'm yelling on the bench and heat of the moment. I don't know if they got us breaking any bats or doing anything crazy. I don't think so. But, they're around for a lot. The heat of the moment, game's tough, right? Guys get frustrated and things happen. But I think they're going to do a good job. And I think they're going to paint players in the right light. It's not going to be anything crazy negative. There's going to be stories, but I'm sure it's going to be a good job overall.
Yeah. I mean, they're very nice people, and I think they were pretty. I don't think they really understood the baseball season, which is fair because they disappeared for the last couple of months.
160 games in 170 days, like that's a lot.
And spring training too.
And spring, yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have tattoos, correct? Yes, I know you have tattoos.
I do.
All right. Tyler, I don't have any tattoos as we sit here right this moment.
Not yet.
Wednesday, I am flying to Los Angeles to get my first tattoo.
What are you getting?
Come on.
You getting a Red Sox logo?
What?
The big Boston logo right here.
Yeah. No. Baseball isn't boring. Sitting side by side with Joe Kelly, who owns the LLC. So, Mr. Cartoon, the preeminent tattoo artist in the country. And then I want to give a formal invitation if you want to jump on the plane and.
I'm gonna pass this time, but potentially in the future if I get back into the artsy side.
Okay. Oh, okay. Let me ask you this: if you win the World Series, will you get a baseballs and boring tattoo sometime in your life? It could be like the smallest thing ever.
Probably not.
Okay, fair.
Good, fair question though.
That's fair. It's fair. All right. Well, I appreciate you. I know a lot of people are rooting for you, and it's great that you're staying nearby, so we can all see your dominance and your excellence. So, good job with everything. An excellent job lifting this morning. I'm building you up.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, I'm never gonna show up unprepared. You know that. And I'm looking forward to this opportunity. Looking forward to staying in the division. It's going to be exciting, and just can't wait to see what this year brings. Honestly, it's going to be great.
Awesome. All right, thanks, man.